Everywhere we go, ho! Everywhere we go, ho! People wanna know. People wanna know. Who we are, ho! Who we are. So we tell them. So we tell them. United States Marine Corps.
Mother's Day was a very cool experience for myself and my wife and kids, and I come from a very jaded, cynical background when it comes to these sort of non-federal holidays. But when it comes to a mandatory sort of must give someone a card or flowers type of deal, I just can't get behind it. I told my wife I didn't want to disappoint her on Mother's Day with my lack of enthusiasm. My plan was just to make sure we had a fun day together as a family, and I would do my best to carry most of the weight for the day and try to make it enjoyable for Ashley the most. We saw a group of people playing music in front of the old Woolworth building, which is now this really cool art gallery for local artists in the Asheville area. But we kind of caught the tail end of a little set, so we continued on to look for some brunch.
The horsey?
What?
We saw what we thought was an old friend that used to bartend downtown at Pritchard Park, and he was kind of standing up against a street pole. But then as we got closer and crossed the street into the Pritchard Park area, we realized that he just looked the same as somebody else, and it wasn't really him. Then we smelled the food. We strolled back up the street to Mayfull's. We went inside, and in this very quaint, small restaurant. It was more of a cafe-style deal, and they say that they serve Southern hospitality, one delicious dish at a time. That's kind of their tagline, and really it turned out to be pretty true. The host took our strollers from us and hid them away somewhere in the place so that they weren't in the way. I got to enjoy Gaelic ale, and I got to eat a burger, and the burger was really good. It had salsa on it, and then had jalapenos and jack cheese, and I had sweet potato french fries in it. Everything went together really well. The kids had peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, and the only person that really didn't enjoy their lunch, unfortunately, because it was Mother's Day, was Ashley, and she had ordered some fried shrimp. And it's so difficult when you live in the mountains of North Carolina to get fresh seafood, because it's so expensive to get fresh seafood all the way up there to the mountains. So you kind of have to do it that night, drive all the way up from the coast, and then give it to them, and they have to have it on ice the whole way. So, but the time had finally come out to venture out and see some different stores. We wanted to take the kids into some cool toy stores if we could find something, maybe take the wife shopping for some clothes.
You really rock my world. When I grow up, I want to be your girl.
but we ended up seeing a kids clothing store that we had never heard of before called Papoose, and it turned out to be ran by a local resident, and they sold really nice kids clothing and related items. Then all of a sudden the lady that was running the place, Kate was her name, she told us to let the kids play in the indoor playground. It was a really neat indoor playground. She was very adamant of the fact that we did not have to buy anything in her store. She didn't even want us to have to look around. She just wanted the kids to come in and play and have a good time. And I really enjoyed that message, that she was really providing this opportunity for kids and parents to come out of the heat into the air conditioning and really relax in what was an actual, clean, sturdy environment for the kids to play with, a lot of adults watching over and some other kids to play with them. You should check out papoosestore.com. That's their website. We had to drag the kids out of the store kind of to get to go to the circus because of the playground. Having the circus to go to made it a little bit easier to get them motivated in the right direction. We were rewarded by a full 5-minute performance of the Super Band, and this was on the way to the Civic Center. And the Super Band is this band that really originated in New Orleans, and it's a group of a bunch of different smaller bands that get together to give this really entertaining set out there on the street, and they get really into it and communicate with the crowd really well. But this sister band of this Super Band is based in Asheville, North Carolina, and I got a good 5-minute set. Like, I caught it from beginning to end. And a lot of things have changed over the last 25 years in the circus business. There were only husbandry type of animals in the show, and that really only strengthens my argument against the protesters that were outside. There were dogs, there were ponies, horses, camels, and elephants. There was no lions, there was no tigers, there was no bears. And really the rest of the old entertainment was made up of cheerleaders that were dressed up like circus folk and some pretty cool, talented acrobats. Probably the part of the circus that really stood out to me most was the laser show that the main antagonist of the show did. And if you haven't seen it, you should check it out. He was kind of miming the lasers back and forth as they moved. It was a really cool, high-energy laser show with some good music. So Adeline, of course, being the young 2-year-old, didn't make it through the whole show. She barely made it to the halfway point. She got really angry and fussy and squirmy, and then she passed out on my shoulder. So at least she eventually fell asleep. But Ava was in amazement the whole show, and she's a huge fan of the circus now, and it's all she talked about for like 2 days. And now when we were attempting to exit the parking deck or get back to our car and get out of the parking deck with our car, we did have some troubles because there was a lot of people leaving the Civic Center from the circus. And you know, my message to the public out here is if you're going to some sort of public event like this and there's a parking deck or a very controlled area for parking and there's not a whole lot of room for cars to move, be chivalrous and make an attempt to get out of the way. Like, you're walking, we realize that, but the walkway that you're using is not the frozen aisle at the grocery store. It is the drive area for cars. Now, some idiot could be driving through there and run you or your kids over. So, do what's right for you. Set the example for the other people around you, and just tell everybody, hey, here comes a car. Get everybody over to the side where it's safe, closer to the other cars that are parked. And let cars go in and out quickly. Everybody will get out of there a lot faster. Nobody's going to get hurt, and it doesn't make anybody mad. I really want to jump out of the car and square people away, and that's just the old Marine in me. And I didn't do it, got my wife and kids. So we just were. Instead, I showed my kids an opportunity to be patient. So. But if you're out there, don't walk up and down the center of the aisle in the parking deck with you and like 5 people like it's a shopping mall. Narrow up, go in a line, get close to the cars or against the wall if you can, if there's a walkway, and take that way. Don't be rude and get in everybody's way. I hope you enjoy the video. Appreciate it if you like, comment, and subscribe. And it wouldn't be a Bruno video if my phone didn't tweet. You'll never forget Asheville, North Carolina, and altitude most definitely still affects attitude.